Good morning, loves. How is everyone this morning? I'm doing really great. This morning I'm going to be putting together for you guys a look using some of my new camera ready cosmetics purchases that I made, and I hope that you guys really enjoy this. This is inspired by a bridal look that I've seen recently done by a great friend of mine, Tara Libby. I'm not doing the exact same thing, but I am doing a take on that. I really loved the bronzy colors that she used on the lids, so I'm going to try to sort of emulate that in this look. Also, I'm really digging the bronze color that's in this wheel by Ben Nye, so I want to try that one today. This is also a first impressions of sorts because I have not used these products other than the swatches that I did for you guys. So I have no idea how they're going to go on my skin. I'm going to be guessing with the shades in the foundation palette. So we'll see how well this goes. I hope that it ends up well. So I have already washed my face, moisturized. I have not used a primer yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm using my BH Cosmetics Foundation Primer. This one's silicone based, just like the Smashbox Photo Finish primer is, if anyone is familiar with that one. Okay. For my eye primer, I'm going to be using my Jordana Eternal White Crayon on my lid. I'm doing that just so I can get a more true color and so that the color I'm going to put on my lids will last longer. Because this is a 12-hour product, it'll help my eyeshadow to adhere for longer. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go ahead and take care of all of this. As you can see, I am having a breakout right now, so we are going to put this foundation to the test today. So first, excuse me while I dig through my mountain of brushes. Actually, I almost think that might be better without a brush, but we'll start with a brush and go from there. Oh, you moved. I'm sorry. Come back. Come back down. There we go. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lightest color in this palette. Again, this is the Natural One by Graftobian. Okay, and I'm going to put that one in my under eye area in sort of a triangle shape. I'm using the lightest one because I want to brighten that area up. It's my goal for that area. Then I'm going to go 2 shades in, and I'm just going to put it onto these areas. I'm not going to completely start blending them in yet. I'm just placing the product right now. Okay. And all the reviews that I've seen on this say that if you use a damp beauty blender, that it's going to work a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and try that and see how that works for me. I'm definitely liking the coverage. I don't know how well you guys can see, but it looks really, really pretty on my skin. I wouldn't say that I'm getting really full coverage here though. But again, this is a foundation palette, not a concealer palette. I'm not using any concealer because I wanted to see just how much coverage I can get with this. So I feel like that's fairly good coverage. And I really like how it looks on the skin. It's very, very pretty. Sorry about that sound if you guys can hear it. That's my great friend Micah text bombing me. Everybody say hi, Micah. Micah, I'll get back to you in just a minute. She's concerned about me because I was having car issues this morning. Okay, so if you guys can tell, I feel like I got really great coverage. I like how it looks in the under eye area. I am going to help smooth it out just a little bit more with my fingers. I feel like the warmth of my fingertips is helping. But I did not completely cover these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with some of my Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation in Light 48. And I'm just going to put it directly on those spots. That I don't feel like I got quite enough coverage with. Again though, it's a foundation palette, so I can't really complain. It's not a concealer palette. But I still feel like that was pretty great coverage. And I like, again, I like how it looks. I like how it feels. It feels nice. Okay, so we blended most of that away. I feel like that looks pretty good. Let me clean up my hands a little bit here. With timing, I think that I may end up breaking this video up now into segments. Okay, so my next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Ben Nye Luxury Powder in Banana, and I'm going to put this into my... First, I'm going to start with the under eye area. I'm going to see how it looks, and then I'll go... Okay, sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties. I'm not sure where the video left off at, but I'm going to be using my Ben Nye Luxury Powder in Banana to set what I've just put on my face. And I'm just going to be using a larger brush, kind of a fluffier brush, if you can see that. It's got some product on it, by Bobbi Brown. And I'm just going to start in my under eye area and sort of see what that looks like before I continue on to do the rest of the face. That is an extremely mattifying powder. Wow. Well, it doesn't look like there's much of a color difference from my skin, so that's a good sign. So I'm going to go ahead and use this on a larger brush all over my face. It's a really mattifying powder. That's great. Good for selfies. Okay. I think that looks pretty darn good. What do you guys think? Do you see the difference? Can you see? Covered pretty well. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. I think that I'm a pretty big fan of this stuff. I can see why it's such a cult favorite. Alright. So now I'm going to go ahead and start on my eyes. I'm going to start with, where is that brush? Oh, where's my brush? Where's my brush? Here it is. I have to clean it real quick. Yep, I keep toilet paper at my makeup vanity. Have to. Constantly wiping my brushes off. Constantly cleaning them with my little bottle of alcohol. I mean, I still do the deep clean on my brushes every once in a while, but that's a whole nother video. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking my darkest shade in here. This is sort of the bronze shade on a smaller BH Cosmetics brush. Alright, my little compact so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go in on the center of my lid and kind of start to pat out. I'm not going to go above my crease line, and I'm not going to extend this out far. But I'm placing it there first because that's where I want the majority of my color to be seen, is right there. And then it's going to dissipate out from there. I hope anyway. We'll see if that's what it ends up looking like. Just small little pats. Okay, I'm going to grab a little bit more of that bronze. I really like that. That's a really, really pretty color. So now before I get too carried away and go too far out with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop. Hope you guys can see that well enough. I still don't have my lighting figured out in here. I'm going to have to spend some time working on that. I think honestly all that I need is a floor lamp kind of over behind you guys somewhere. Okay, just extending out from that. Very pretty color here. Okay, making certain not to go above my crease line. If you do, just go ahead and clear that off, wipe it up, clean it up, stay clean. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a color called You Can Never Be Too Rich Brown. This is by Bare Minerals. Okay. And I'm going to take this on a brush that I have by Mally. It's just sort of a round tapered brush. Alright, and I'm going to take a little bit of that in the lid. And now I'm going to start in my crease. And I'm going to work my way over. But I'm going to pull that all the way in. See how I'm going all the way in with that? I normally don't do that with my looks. Making sure to really round that out. Then I'm going to get some more of that. Swirl, tap, and buff, just like the Bare Minerals videos. Okay, and then I'm going to go into my crease again. Windshield wiper motion. From one corner all the way to the other one. Okay, Let's make sure that those look even. They look pretty darn even to me. Look pretty good. Okay. I'm going to take that same color on my same brush and I'm just going to extend it down onto my lower lash line to deepen that up a bit. Okay. Don't need a lot of product here. We're not trying to create a super dark smoke, super dark evening eye or anything. Just want to smoke it out a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going with this. It's one of my favorite colors that you can never be too rich brown. It sort of reminds me of the color Cowgirl by Makeup Geek, if any of you guys know that one. It's got kind of some reddish, dare I say ruddy undertones to them. Really, really pretty. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, where's it at? Scandalized by Rimmel in black, and I'm just going to line my waterline. I'm not going to do my tight line because I personally just don't like having to put it on my tight line. I don't like it, and I don't feel like there's a big enough payoff to have to go through the pain and the agony of doing it. I'm not going to do it. You can't make me. So, take a step back, look at everything, see if we need to add anything anywhere, remove anything anywhere, just so that we end up with a nice round look and then it extending underneath. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my Ben Nye cake liner in black with my Graftobian Magic set, and I'm going to use those with my new Cinema Secrets No. 2 brush. Again, as I showed in the other video, we're literally taking one drop and then we're using the brush on there to sort of move it around in the corner though, staying in the corner to make a somewhat of a paste out of that. Now this is my first time using this brush, so I'm hoping that this will go smoothly. I don't know if you guys know or not, but sometimes switching brushes will really make a huge difference. So let's see. Well, yeah, that made a huge difference, but certainly not in a bad way. That's the fastest I've ever aligned my eye before. I am going to wing that just a little bitty bit on the corner. Not a lot, just a touch, so that we end up with that. Hope you guys can see that. Now, I'm going to go back for more, and we'll see if that works or if I need to add another drop of the Graftobian to do the other eye. We'll find out in just a moment. Looks like it's going to work. I did not think that it would. I thought that it would be too pasty. I've used one of these types of eyeliner setters before. I've used them in other videos of mine. The one that I've always used until now is by Bare Minerals. It was the first one that I had ever used, and I love it. But now that I know that this one, but then again, I don't know if it's the setter or the eyeliner Might be the cake liner that's keeping it from, and I actually do end up having to add another drop right at the end because it's too pasty. It's not liquidy enough to go into and fill out my little wing. There we go. That's better. Wow, that looks pretty great. Yes, it does. Looks good. All right, that's exciting. You want to go ahead and clean up your brush immediately, because if you don't, that stuff is going to dry on there and it will be a little bit more difficult to remove. It's made to last all day, so if you let it dry on your brush, it's just going to make your brush all hard and kind of icky. Again, that's why I keep alcohol at my little station here. Make sure to put the cap back on your Graftobian Magic Set so it doesn't dry out, and close up your eyeliner. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, if I were doing this on a bride, I would of course do lashes, but I'm not a bride today. So I am just using my CK1 mascara. I actually got asked recently why I put mascara on differently on my right eye than I do on my left eye. If you guys have noticed, I wiggle a lot more on my left eye and I just sort of pull more on my right eye, if that makes any sense. I also do this sort of rolling motion over here that I don't do on my right eye. The reason for that is pretty simple and has nothing to do with makeup technique. It's because on my left eye, I have to move my head more than I have to move my hand. And on my right eye, I can move my hand more. So that's just the way that I have found that it's easiest for me to put on my mascara, because I'm not as coordinated going this way as I am going this way. So I have to have my hand planted on my cheek for stability so I don't poke myself in the eye, which I still do sometimes. And I don't need to over here. So that's why. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish up with a little bit of color on my cheeks, because I've gone so bronzy on my eyes. I feel like I kind of need to use a little bit of bronzing on my cheeks. I'm going to be using my Laura Geller. This is my, what is this called? Blush and Brighten in Honey Dipped. You can't see it, but it's super flecked with some shimmer. I'm going to be using this on my Angle Brush by BH Cosmetics. Just kind of, almost like I'm contouring with that. Okay. So I'm just creating sort of something of a triangle. And then I'm extending that up to the hairline. And then a little bit down here, and then pull it down to blend it. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with my Laura Geller Blush and Brighten in Tropic Hues. Okay. That one pretty. I love that one. It looks really, really pretty on too. And I'm just going to take a great big fluffy brush and just kind of pull that down my cheek to my apples, up to my temples, just kind of mixing that in right above where I placed my bronzer at. Okay, so we end up with something like that. Okay, last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out a lip color. I really want to go kind of neutral. So maybe this color is going to be best. I'm going to show you guys what that one looks like with a full face of makeup. This is one of the ones that I received in my Ipsy bag this month. It's by Starlooks and it's called Guilty Pleasure. I did show it in my Ipsy opening extravaganza, but I didn't have on much other makeup. I do like how this smells. It sort of smells like creme brulee. Kind of reminds me of the Kat Von D studded lippies. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do my brows real quick. This tends to look a little bit crazy, so actually I'll come back.